Bonjour tout le monde, I'm Miss K, this is Go Cuisine. Here we like to try new recipes. I went thrifting and I found this awesome book called Cooking for One or Two. It has a lot of interesting recipes in here, and I've thumbed through here. I've cooked a few of them. They seem to be good recipes, so I would like to share one with you today. It is called Summer Squash Casserole. Now, maybe you have a garden and you have a lot of zucchini growing. That's great. Maybe you have a farmer's market you can visit. I've done this with zucchini and yellow squash, so it'll work with either one. Today I'm going to be using zucchini, and it is a summer squash casserole for one or two. Today I'm going to make it the original way, and then I'm also going to attempt to make it in my electric lunchbox to see if this is something we can take with us for lunch. So for a summer squash casserole for one, we need a cup of cubed summer squash, a tablespoon of chopped onion. I'm thinking if you're doing this on the go, we could use the frozen onion or the fried onion. Also chopped bell pepper. I'm going to be using red. You can use whatever color you like. We are going to use some grated cheese. This is a 1/4 cup. And 2 tablespoons of sour cream. I'll be using creme fraiche, but sour cream or plain Greek yogurt would probably work very well here. And some croutons. Let's get started. I'll show you the original way, and I'll show you what happens in the Itaki. Have I tried it before now? No, I haven't. I like to do things in front of you and embarrass myself. So let's get cooking. So the way I like to cube the squash is I cut it in half. This way it's flat, it's easier for you to cut. Cut that in half. And no, it's not gonna be a perfect cube, but it's a round vegetable. What do you think this is? Minecraft? Okay, but that gives me a pretty good size piece. You can cut it smaller if you like. I'm going to do a single size serving in my Itaki and in the pan. Try to cut even slices because it's gonna cook about the same speed. You don't want like this, if I left it whole, it's gonna take longer to cook than that. So we want even pieces here. So we need a cup of squash to go into the Itaki. Yeah, Kay's not measuring. Y'all know better. That looks like a cup to me. And then this can go in a pot. Look like about double that. I don't know. This is 1 zucchini I chopped up. Now we need onions. Now, if you want to use the frozen onions, they come already chopped, but the flavor's not as strong as fresh. So you can use these. They're chopped pretty fine like this, so you can just throw that in your pot and be done. Or if you want, you can chop some fresh onion. How hard is it to chop a tablespoon of onion? Just get you a piece off. Go as fine as you like. Ta-da. Just a few seconds. I mean, but you decide. I'm putting some in each pot. And I know that's more than a tablespoon, but y'all, I like flavor. Next, we're going to go with our bell pepper. I'm using red. You can use green if you like. And I'm just gonna chop that nicely like that. My dogs are begging for bell pepper. They love it. Okay, get you some nice finely chopped bell pepper. And we're gonna throw that in there. And then it says we're going to cook this with a bit of water until the vegetables are tender. This is what we have right now. Okay, and we're just gonna put a little bit of water and cook until the vegetables are tender. I'm going to be putting less in the Itaki one than in the one that I'm putting on the stove. And it doesn't matter, we're draining this off anyway. It doesn't say how much, it just says a small amount. We just didn't need enough so we can cook our vegetables until they're tender. Alright. Cook. Maybe I'll cover it. Might be a safer bet. Once this comes to a boil, turn it down to low, and then you want to check it every now and then. And after it's been 9 minutes, you have nice tender vegetables. We are going to drain this. The Itaki is still going. I'm going to be using the end of this prima donna cheese that I got on vacation. It's pretty good. And I'm also going to be using a little bit of cheddar that one of my coworkers brought from their hometown. And yes, you can use the pre-shredded stuff if you want. I did last time. It worked out just fine. I know they say fresh shredded is the best, but sometimes I don't have it. Sometimes I don't have time, and using bagged cheese that's already grated is better than me going to McDonald's. Just saying. Okay, we need a 1/4 cup for each one. So this should be more than enough. And then that nugget, we're not going to try to grate it. That's cook's treat. We're not going to lose our fingers over cheese. So this cheddar is very soft. So they bring me a block of this, and then I cut it up and put it in vacuum seal bags. So I don't have the original label, or I'd love to show it to you. But it's a delicious white cheddar. And we'll just mix that together. And we have plenty of cheese for both dishes. That didn't take any time. Because again, we're cooking for 1 or 2. So it's not like we did a giant batch. So this part I think is what's going to be tricky for the Itaki. Because I'm assuming you would be doing that on at work, in a hotel room. Draining something off is not as easy. Right now I'm at home, so I can do it. So now I'm going to season these vegetables. It didn't say to season them, but we like flavor. So we'll do some salt, pepper, salt-free seasoning. I bet you could do some garlic powder. Let's just do that while we're at it. Just a little. Bring some flavor to the party. Okay, fine. Onion powder too. Why not? Now we're going to add our sour cream or creme fraiche. I have creme fraiche. Well, yeah, 2 tablespoons. Oh my gosh. I made this pretty liquid this time. And then we're going to add in our cheese. Part of our cheese. It says to add in part of your croutons here, but we're not using very many, so I just put them on top. If you want to stir them in, go ahead. And then I have a casserole dish. You can butter this or spray it. I got this little mini casserole dish at one of those discount home goods stores. I don't remember which one. And then we're just going to put this in. I should have doubled this one. I knew I should have doubled it. I think I did last time. Then we're going to put croutons and more cheese on the top and pop this baby in the toaster oven or in the oven. Like, I suppose if you had little tiny croutons, you can measure out 3 tablespoons, but these are what my croutons look like. So we're just going to sprinkle a couple on the top. Ta-da. And then put some more cheese on it and be done. And this is going in the oven. You know what other cheese would probably be good on this? Parmesan. And I bet tomatoes would be great in this as well. One of the things that really bothers me about the Itaki is the lack of the ability to look inside while it's cooking. You just have to trust that it's doing its thing. So it finally turned off. Let's hope this is done. Be careful, it is hot. don't burn yourself with the steam. Steam. Okay. So, let's unplug. So here we go. This was about 15 minutes. I suppose it's fork tender. Let's poke it and see. Yeah. Okay, so we've got to drain this, add in our sour cream and our cheese, and then we'll top it with croutons. Obviously, we can't bake this one because the Itaki cooks with steam. So putting the lid back on is not going to do much of anything unless you need to melt the cheese. We are going to carefully drain this. Let's see, I can see this would really suck at work. I'm losing things. Do yourself a favor and clean up your space as you go. Future you will thank you. All right, and then we're going to add in some of our cream. I'm very embarrassed by this creme fraiche. It's usually thicker than this. This time I'm only doing a tablespoon. No, what the heck, we'll do 2. Can be a little richer. Okay. I can see I did not do a good job draining this. I'm doing this, I know I'm at home and I could drain this again, but I want to do this like if I was at work. And I know I don't have access to a colander at work. I just don't. Throw in our cheese, and this time I'm doing all the cheese. And we can spice this up as well like we did the other one. Everything needs seasoning, so let's take care of that. Oh my gosh. Flying seasonings. Okay, again, we'll do some onion powder, garlic powder, salt-free seasoning, salt and pepper. That looks like a lot. And some pepper. Give that a toss. The heat should go ahead and melt the cheese. If not, we can put it back in there for a couple of minutes. Okay, I did end up reheating this a bit to get my cheese melted. And we're going to top this off a little different than the other one. Yes, we're going to add the croutons. Why are they so big? And then I'm going to add some cheese crumbs. You can get these next to the breadcrumbs in the grocery store. It's just Parmesan cheese that is baked off so that it's crunchy, because we're not going to have the crunchy cheese from the oven. Okay, so that one's done. Let's go see about the other one. Okay, you can see that the croutons have browned a little bit more. The cheese is nice and melted. It's starting to get stuck to the edges here. Okay, these are clearly not the same dish, but I think they're both good. This is the one from the oven, and here's the Itaki one. I did want to mention these cheese crumbs are quite salty, so if you're going to use them, I would add salt later. So, how do they taste? We'll start with the Itaki one. Okay, it's creamy. Let me get a crouton there. I can taste it. I could definitely eat that. It's nothing to write home about, but it's tasty. I think it would go great with fish or chicken, which you could also cook in your Itaki at the same time and have a pretty decent meal on the go. This one, I know is good because I've made it before, but I'll taste it for you. Obviously, you've got that crispy taste from the oven, from the cheese being melted. That's always a nice texture. And yes, I just double dipped in here because this one's mine. This is my dinner. And the croutons are extra crunchy because they got baked off again. So, I mean, it's a pretty solid dish. You can't go wrong with either one. I hope you guys decide to try this out. And if you do, let me know. And what would you add in here to make it your own? Tell me down in the comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. This book is copyright 1993, and here are the contents. We have a section on appetizers, soups and sauces, sandwiches, salads, meats, vegetables, pasta, you name it. It's got it here, even desserts. This is a nifty little book if you're trying to cook for one person or two, especially if you don't like a lot of leftovers. And if this recipe pleased you, share it with your friends. And you can also join us on the Facebook page. Meanwhile, why don't you check out this next video YouTube has picked out for you. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Au revoir and bon appétit!